What is up, guys? NYKia31 here, bringing you a game of Madden 25. This is a old game from this past regular season of the OS Vets League. I've been posting playoff vids, obviously, so I wanted to use this game as a backdrop for what I wanted to talk about. So, just an ordinary week of preparation for the Miami Dolphins, huh? Just a regular NFL work week. Nothing unusual at all, eh? What a mess. What a mess. And it's a very multifaceted mess. I really can't think of anything to compare it to, really. Nothing comes to mind whatsoever. But, let's start out with the obvious things that we know. Richie Incognito is a complete Neanderthal. He's a hopped up loon, ignoramus, just a disgusting human being on virtually every level. You have that. On the other end of the spectrum, you have Jonathan Martin, who, by all accounts, is a guy who has some emotional issues, has some mental issues. Whether they were brought on by this situation or whether they've been just there underneath the surface and this situation exacerbated it, we don't know. But there's some definite issues there emotionally and mentally. And then you have race. You have the use of the N-word. That's the cherry on top of all of it. Because without that, the rest of the stuff does not, hold anybody's interest. I'm not someone who advocates use of the N-word by anyone. White, black, and yes, I know the context that it's used by my fellow black folk. I don't agree with you. Never have, never will. It just creates unnecessary problems. It fosters a mentality that creates more harm than good for the black community as a whole. So there's that. What I find the most fascinating aspect of this whole situation are the points of view of black players around the league, black players within the Miami Dolphins locker room, and also the Miami Dolphins players in general, their coaching staff, and their organization. You have players like Antrell Roll, who, while not openly condoning Richie Incognito's behavior, they don't hold much sympathy for Jonathan Martin either. And the Miami Dolphins players, they seem to be, almost universally, supportive of Incognito. The coaching staff first were, playing ignorant, and, after that gig was up, it's, pretty clear that they had a grasp of what was going on and the type of character Richie Incognito was. You even had a general manager when Jonathan Martin's agent was, informing him of the situation. The GM said, well, if he has a problem with this dude, just throw hands and settle it like men. And I understand where this mindset comes from. A sports locker room, especially on the college and professional level, it's one of the last bastions of social Darwinism that exists. It's a foxhole mentality, especially in a sport that is as combative and physical as football. And it's competitive. It's the domain of the alpha male, and guys are going to test you. They're going to haze you. They're going to try your manhood. I can relate to this. I had a situation my sophomore year in college. I snapped and went after one of my teammates, which is completely out of my character. I'm a very mild-mannered guy. I'm also very bookish, and when you combine that with the way that I speak, every now and then someone would make the mistake of interpreting that as me being soft and thinking that they can mess with me. And, unfortunately for them, they realized that they could not, that I know how to handle myself. And this particular situation was just a, loudmouth freshman who was trying to get under my skin, thought he could punk me, and I recognized what was going on, why it was happening, and I decided, you know what, this is not going to stand any longer. I'm going to put an end to it. And I went after him. And afterwards, we became very close friends. That's just the way the alpha male, competitive, testosterone-laced, ego-driven mindset works in that type of environment. And Jonathan Martin, from all accounts, just isn't wired that way. And Richie Incognito is on the complete opposite side of that spectrum. The guy's a scumbag. He's a complete madman. And when you combine that with a lack of leadership both among the players and the coaching staff, and away you go. Now, the reason why I believe that there isn't much sympathy for Jonathan Martin among players around the league and his teammates is because of that locker room attitude. In the players' minds, he violated the locker room manhood code. When he was tested, when he was tried, he folded and ran. And that will kill him amongst his teammates forever. I think it's going to be very hard for Martin to find his way back into the league, because that's not a reputation that you live down very easy. The players, they relate to the Richie Incognito mindset more than they relate to a guy like Jonathan Martin. So I think all of that combined to make Martin feel like an outcast, an outsider, and that he really had nowhere to go, so he cut tail and ran. So there you have it. Just a weird situation. I would love to hear what you guys think about it. Talk to you all later. Peace.